know what's next. Life's a journey, never complex. A lifelong student, educators call, guiding future, standing tall. Conscious parenting, full hat on tight. Drove through decades, walked away for rights. From the motion pictures to the cosmic light. Contactee's journey, universal sight. Attempting to put the human back in humanity. Mic check, 1, 2, hear the clarity. Fascinated by the human experience. Sharing stories, breaking the silence. Human experience, hang out, come along. Kids, health, synaptic circle, singing our song. Random vlogs, life stories to tell. Each journey a beacon, wishing well. We all have incredible tales to share. Healing, activation, spreading care. Light the way, find the others. What's your mission, sisters and brothers? Attempting to put the human back in humanity. Mic check, 1, 2, hear the clarity. Fascinated by the human experience. Sharing stories, breaking the silence. Rise, humanity, unity we seek. Community sharing, synaptic circle unique. Be the solution with someone today. Assist in the rise, light the way. May the song lift whoever comes across, and may you do the same, no matter the cost. Spread the light, ignite the flame. In unity we rise, forever reclaim. Attempting to put the human back in humanity. Mic check, 1, 2, hear the clarity. Fascinated by the human experience. Sharing stories, breaking the silence.
That didn't work. Hi, howdy, and hello. Hello, replay crew. Hi, Carol and Jane. I was just talking about ya. How the heck are you? It's good to see you. Well, not really, but I feel you. Hello, and happy July. Holy smokes, I haven't done this for over a month. Maybe even 5 weeks, 6 weeks, maybe. So cheers. Hello. This is my first day of who knows how many in the next 3 weeks that I have, because then we take off again. But I wanted to say hi. Hi, Lulu Bell. Jane, I've missed you so much. So, Carol and Jane, Midwest Night Watchers. My little sweatshirt made it all across the planet. Of course, I was the one taking all the pictures, so I barely got any pictures of me in it, but I saw many a peeps going, Midwest Night Watchers, Night Owl Lounge. So thanks for keeping me cozy in all the different elements and weather that we were in. So yeah, a mini catch up. This isn't going to turn in my hour 45. And you can call me on that now, Jane, because I'd like to do little bits every day, bump these algos again. And I already have some peeps standing by. So stand by, Carol and Jane, for the call. You'll have that as well. But of course, Mr. Dennis Carroll, Andy D Codes, and my buddy Rick Ramirez. He's from the Single Dad Project. I have all 3 of those interviews. I might talk to Rick this week, but Andy and Dennis for sure next week. And Midwestern Carol and Dennis, we can do another one. And Carol and Jane, I'd still love to chat more about what were we talking about before we left? The old hag. Remember the old hag? But also all the crazy cool stuff I saw, I felt, I experienced, and I've learned about, especially in the legends in Krakow, and the lands that I went to in Wales. A lot of cool legends and a lot of cool vibes. Supercharged in one particular place. A place that was known for Merlin, King Arthur and Merlin and all that stuff. Roger Blair, how the heck are you? Nice to see ya. So, and I am on because I also didn't get to share. We have, the end of school. It was the end of the school. I think I was talking before that. It was all our big crazy stuff. The 8th grade project, the graduation, blah, 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 all these things. My mom came to town and I just dropped her off. So you all saw her and thank you for the wishes. She turned 75 yesterday. My brother was here as well. They were our house sitters and our dog sitters. Sorry, robbers. And so they just went back today, like 2 hours ago. And the giant took off to do errands. So I'm like, holy smokes, I have time. Let's play. And the kids are right over there. Can you say hi really loud? I got to sigh. I was talking to you. anyhow, we are back in the grind a little bit. End of July, we do take off again for the Midwest, trying to work that one out, Carol and Jane. And yeah, so there we go. So at the end of when I last talked, yeah, it's the end of the year. Holy windfall and holy smokes. That class just doted on me like nobody's business. The parents, I have this windfall, these beautiful accolades, these letters. I might have to do my own little live stream just on that stuff. But oh my gosh, this one little precious little gal in my class, when I catch her, she's sometimes looking at me like, like the Indiana Jones with "I love you." Like she's smitten and she's my little pal, but she's also just illuminated all year. Hi, Dustin. Good to see you. I'll be on with Dustin this weekend. I think it's this weekend. It's this week, right? Good to see you, pal. Or next week. I don't remember, but I said yes. So we're going to do that. Nice to see you, Dustin. Um, she doted on me. She brought this basket over to me. And it was very much like Christmas Story, Ralphie handing the teacher the basket, like with all the fruits and everything. And oh my goodness, there was this acrylic puzzle piece that said, "You fit my puzzle," or "You complete me," these really, really sweet things. And then my precious little pal, my Bigfoot pal, she's off overseas as well right now. But they even gifted me euros because they knew I was going to travel, and just the most beautiful handmade letters, like spoiled rotten. And it really made me go, I am on mission. I am on task. I am meant to be with this class. So we do have a couple crazy things coming up this year that I'm going to pivot with. But I know for certain that, these kiddos and we met for a reason, and so did the parents and I. So I did take a holiday, but that holiday was spent thinking, how can I incorporate this in my curriculum? And because, immersive storytelling, for the win, that's the education I stand by. And super duper excited. So I bought a flag. Well, it was a tea cloth. I'm going to make it a flag, my little Wales flag. And it's backwards probably. And then, of course, I forgot the Polish flag. So I can probably make that one. But we had the most epic time. So anyway, the end of the school year that happened, and it was amazing. And we took off soon after that. Thank you, Roger Blair. Yes, everybody, hit that like and subscribe button. I know my whole thing got covered with dust a little bit, but here I am to dust it off and to share a few accolades. Holy smokes, what's going on with the internet? Did you see that, guys? It's unstable, much like myself. We did really well. I actually should share a picture, not to try to get a community strike or anything, but there were a couple times I started to get a little tickle, the little travel thing of like, oh no. In fact, only one event out of all the little meet and greets and things we were doing with the Giants family and friends and stuff, one I had to sleep in because I'm like, all night I felt like a fever dream, or was it? Because I was at some pretty enchanted places. I think I had a Shasta moment, folks, if you know what that means. Thanks, Lulu. It's glitching on your side. Oh, thanks, Lulu Bell. Guys, can you move it upstairs? Remember what they said about sharing the... Thanks, guys. The kiddos had a great time. It was so... Here it comes back. And you can hear this too when I said, and they've heard me say this before, so many nice little accolades and niceties about the kids, how polite they are and how they get along. They're always like, don't they fight? I'm like, well, and then you see them like wrestle or do something. I'm like, well, like that. But they were good kids. Like they had a good time. I like to think they had a good time. So I hope it's getting stronger. It's looking on my end. It's getting a little stronger. Maybe because I just haven't done this in a long time. Let me know, Lulu Bell, if it can. Thank you, hon. Let me know if it's still glitching. I have that. If you're on Wi-Fi, check my your router, moving closer to it. So it wouldn't be a Heidi Pop show without some sort of internet problem. So, and now that I'm coming, there you go. There goes the light. It's a sign. Did you see that? What did I just say? It was probably another do 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 do. Think you can be my gaffer, dude? What's happening with this one? Oh, it's that guy. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but just the white one. See if you can play it. So anyway, am I taking the kids to Superman? Oh, is the new one out? I think I saw that poster in Poland. We actually saw a movie in Poland. We saw How to Train Your Dragon. And then when we went to Wales, it felt like we were there. Thanks, hon. I think it's right here. You rock. That'll work. That's fine. Thank you. Yeah, whatever. Uh, Up there though. Listen for the giant, please. So I don't know, Mr. How do you say that? User for EV. Good call. Maybe. Yeah. Why not? Sounds good. Let's do it. Are you offering free tickets? Is that what I'm hearing? Good. No glitches on your end, Carol. Wonderful. Okay, cool. Yeah, I figure it's going to be a couple little live streams this week because there is a lot to share and talk about. But I would like to talk with some of my pals about some of the more of the folklore and more of the energies and things behind the lands we were at, because I know there's some of my pals are more expertise in that arena. However, being there, I want to share the vibes I felt. One in particular, I was sharing the posts of Snowdonia National Forest. I was moved to tears. And I did. Now I was like, oh, is that because my friend already got in my ear? And I'm like, no, it was being there and walking on that ground. And my friend, who is would be considered a good witch, she's lovely as can be. She's part of my healing journey. She really helped me come out of a really dark place in my life just by doing like little just work energy, helping me heal, like assisting me in my healing. You know, they don't heal you, you have to do the healing. But this was my gal that helped me along my way. Anyway, she had heard I was going here. I think I shared this before. And she goes, oh my goodness, if you happen to go to these particular areas, let me know what you feel like. Because she knows I can pick up on some stuff too. And it turns out it was like 15 minutes from where we were. And my giant was from where's Andy Decodes? Is that Andy Decodes? I was just gonna say, Scully Pop, you too. How the heck are you? What's shaking? Bones. The bones are shaking. You love Snowdonia, Lulu Bell. Have you been? Oh, it took my breath away. Oh my gosh. And Andy, get this. The Welsh were very impressed with my Clandudno. I did stay. Our host had an elder there who was true Welsh, and I heard her and her daughter speak in Welsh. Holy smokes, what an ancient, gorgeous language. And then I'm so lucky to have met the giant's nephew. So he's not Welsh, he's from Poland, but he's lived in the UK a very long time. So he speaks English, and his amazing girlfriend, Hannah. Hi, Hannah. Hi, Peter. Piotrek, how are you guys? Was my point with him? Oh, she's Welsh. She's born and raised there. So when I'd show her, we'd go by an exit, and the names were just blah, 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 like nothing you would think it would be like in our English language. Seeing the letters, they sound different. Just a beat. She would tell me some of those words, and oh my gosh, I'm so attached to that language. So must be some past life thing going on there. When we went to Holyhead, which is Andy there? Did Andy see that? Good, Scully Pop. I'm happy to hear. Running around the YouTube streets. That's what we do, Scully Pop. Scully Pop, if any of you do not know Mr. Scully Pop, you got to check that out. He does some cool readings. Carol and Jane, you might like to have him on. Although I've never seen his face. It's one of those mysteries. You're in the UK, Lulu Bell. Were you the one that was a couple hours south of me, of where we were? Did you chime in on Facebook? That's awesome. Oh, okay, Andy, hello. Well, so Andy, yeah, so the lighthouse, what is it? Stack? Oh gosh, I didn't write anything down. I knew I was gonna screw up here. In Holyhead, beautiful lighthouse. Shared a little video. That was another place that made me go, oh, but the Snowdonia was like this emotional grounding. Like that was the day after I felt kind of gnarly. I missed the event that morning for being a little sick. Pop my little Question Zinc C, this little formula I want to share that really just pulled me out of it. Total immune booster. And I'm like, no, I'm not staying in for the day. We need to explore. I can at least sit in the car. Of course, it was gorgeous in Llandudno for Llandudno. I'm still going to say it wrong. And then you go into Snowdonia, and the rain and the mist and everything started. But when I got out and started taking pictures, I was supercharged. I could have run a marathon. Like, I'm talking Energizer Bunny. I was fully like taking in this energy. My eyes were blowing out. Like, I was like, it was vibrant. There was one area that's supposed to have been measured as like the windiest area. I don't think in the UK, I think in the world. And it was taking my breath away. But the scenery, holy smokes. Yes, we have to dive deep into that. The author that reads to you. Yes, that was it, Scully Pup. Thanks for finishing my thought. The Insane Reading Show. I love it. I've chimed in there, especially at night there. You're like telling a bedtime story. It's really good. Really good, peeps. Yeah, I guess I'm going all over the place. I didn't want to do that, but I'm going to, I guess, just follow the thoughts. Really, really sacred lands and the land of Merlin. And my favorite bit, and oh my goodness, Andy, you must see this all the time, is everywhere you look, the stone walls from the old roads and everything. I was fascinated by the stone. So I really touched it everywhere I went. How old is this? How old is this? Like just driving village to village, which, or working villages and fully going on, and just the stone walls everywhere with the overgrowth. Oh, it was just heavenly. Absolutely heavenly. So not only that, but the little history of this adventure. So we were so grateful that the giant really we've been trying to do this trip for a couple of years. Remember, the giant came to us from that gorgeous area in northern Wales. He came to us officially in 2019. First in 18 and then officially in 19 because I kidnapped him and married him. And then he was stuck. So good timing on my part because COVID hit and all that stuff. So anyway, wanting to get back to his homelands. Now he's born in Poland. Beautiful area in southeast Poland, Jaroslow. I say that wrong too. We flew into Cheshire, which is the major airport they do for Ukraine. So there was a lot of military, stuff you could see going on there. The equipment and everything standing by and stuff. So a lot of activity still. And then you drive a half hour out to his hometown, and that's where he was born and raised in his family house. It was so cool to have the giant lead the way. This is where I went to school. This is where I lugged sand and made money. This is where I did this. This is where I did that. This is where I ate. This is what I did. And then met his mom. I met my mother-in-law, and she is an angel. She's a sweet pea. Happy birthday, Danusha. She just turned 75. 70. My mom turned 75. She turned 70. And I got to meet my sister-in-law, who gifted me this beautiful little, check this out, little like dream catcher. We had a lovely time. I struggled big time. Lesson learned. I'll share a few lessons I learned on these travels, but namely Wi-Fi. It's nice to have a hotspot. So we were pretty dependent and offline most of the time, which was amazing. Actually, I should turn this off too, which was really special. But we did spend a lot of time in Poland, the kids and I just trying our best, like being fully immersed in the language is very helpful. That's how you can pick it up a lot. And a lesson learned, I really needed to take more Duolingo classes and learn a little bit more. But my freaking Google Translate, it was not picking up much. So got the basics down, got the please, thank you, you're welcome, good night, see you tomorrow, Gendelbre and all the stuff, the basics. But, we really just were just feeling the energy. So I did a lot of energy work on this trip. I had to really read the room a lot. And it was very healing for the giant. We got to visit his dad and lay him to rest finally, because he passed early 2021 and he was a victim of all that crazy stuff. So being a part of that, I learned a lot that in Poland, you're not celebrating the dead on their anniversary of their death or on their birthday or once. It's like all day, every day, whenever you want. And candles are lit all the time. So we were there often. It was very beautiful, very, very beautiful. It is a step back in time a little bit, which I kind of enjoyed. It was a step back, I don't know how long you would call it. Not just because of the gorgeous old school cities and stuff, born and raised in America, I really have a deep appreciation, and I'm learning to understand about the old architecture and the villages and the towns and everything. But being just completely immersed in it was just amazing. It was really cool. And then just seeing the modern day living within it. Not a lot of refabrication of it, like they really keeping the original intent of the towns. So really special time. I'm living in my overalls and everything's stretchy because I ate a lot. Every meal was a feast, and it usually was followed by dessert. And we had Lodi every day, ice cream. Even when we went to Wales, little heavier foods and stuff. So it was a lot of heavier. Yesterday was my first day with ceviche and some fresh foods. Wow, I'm going off on tangents. So all in all, without spilling all the beans, and yes, I do like an English breakfast with my beans. In a nutshell, thrilled to pieces. We had the tour of the Giant and the history of the Giant. I honestly was speechless when I saw how he left Wales and came to us. When we were flying in 4th of July, I was grateful to be in the middle. I really like Lot Airlines, by the way. Superb. We were in the middle, so we didn't have window seats. And at first that would bother me. I'm still getting used to flying again. However, I appreciated not flying into LA with a window because it's a circuit board. You just look at that circuit board and you just start going. Zzz. So I got to keep the peace of what I'm traveling back with. And yeah, a little bit of a Debbie Downer moment driving around. It was like, we're back. Could have, should have, would have stayed a little longer. However, lots to do still here. So with that, how are you? What's going on the other end? I got to stay in touch with Carol and Jane. I really appreciate the check-ins. Oh yeah, so when we left, not only was it the end of the school year, but things were popping off here. Remember all the protesting and ICE and all the stuff that was going on here. And our trip, everything was moving as scheduled. And I had some locals, even some family members be like, you're leaving your mom and your brother? Like, is that okay? And I'm like, what we're seeing where we are isn't exactly what's depicted was happening on the screen. It's a very concentrated area. So even my mom was saying, oh yeah, I forgot that was happening. Like she wasn't, it wasn't affecting our day-to-day life, kind of where we are, which sounds so crazy to say. So yeah, when we landed, I was like, oh yeah, that was going on. So what happened with that? Like, how's everybody doing? I really wasn't up to speed with the socials. There was activity. I remember when stuff was happening with Iran and was getting notifications from friends. Are you okay? Be careful with the travel and everything. And there wasn't even a buzz. There wasn't conversation about it where we would go. There were no travel delays or warnings or anything. So honestly, it was staying in touch with friends that kept me up to date with what was going on the news feeds. But what I was experiencing wasn't any of that. I'm so glad I did have friends stuck in Israel for a while. They finally got home. And then, of course, Polly Rodman. I appreciate her boots on the ground information when she gives it. And of course, we all send her continued strength and protection. It's crazy, all this stuff going on. But yeah, it was international travel without a hitch. Like everything went as is. Andy, I don't know if you're still here, but holy smokes, Manchester Airport. That was like a Saturday Night Live sketch. Now, listen, I'm really getting into all these care shares because I've never been out of the country like this. I've never been overseas. And I'm 50, so I've never traveled like this. So I'm just going to be like this for days. But Manchester Airport cracked me up. And Ryanair cracked me up. Not only selling the lottery tickets, and I get the duty-free stuff, but even the stewards and stewardesses, it was cute. It was cute. Coming from lot to that, it was funny. And it's just characters. What an amazing place to be for when I used to do improv and stuff, or just character work, or being a writer or something. I did start writing again while I was out there, but watching these kinds of just all these types of people. Now I love people watching, but you do get a vibe where you go. Especially, yeah, it's a melting pot in LA, but not like Chicago. Like it's still this ego trap. So being somewhere like Manchester just was so fun. It was so wild. So wild. You're 20 minutes from there. Oh, Andy. I was at the mercy of my giant. We were on his time. It was his calendar. I couldn't do my meetups. I couldn't catch up with you. I think you were on the other side anyway at that time. But it's so close. So close. Yeah, it was we were follow the leader with the giant with this one. His best buddy, who we stayed with, he was a famous like motocross dude, Andy Story. So Andy, I don't know if you'll ever come across this. He and his amazing wife, Linda, they housed us when we were in Wales. And what's so cute is with the kids, they had friends who had a caravan, so a little camper, and they put that in the driveway for the kids. So they had their own like little apartment thing, and they loved it. Like that's been the highlight of everything. Did you like the dragons, kids? Oh, I like the camper. Hi, Daryl Stanley. Nice to see you. So they loved that. So Andy picked us up, and we didn't have a car there. Oh yeah, we did rent a car once we got to Landudno. We got a car and kebabs. Kebabs. How do you like the kebabs, Andy? How do you like that? That's what Marcin missed the most. He missed the Indian food and the kebabs. He said LA food sucks. I loved it all. So I just ate everything wherever we went. I tried it all. It was amazing. My steak pie was my favorite. Chicken pot pie, but with steak. Delicious. So the food was abundant. So I was so close to you, Andy. Oh my gosh. Well, we're gonna talk about that. So Andy, I was sharing it. We're gonna talk next week, right? Well, I'm gonna throw out those times with you and Dennis Carroll as well. Get back to some of these high vibe human experience hangouts. Looks like it's delayed again. I hope not on your end. How can it be unstable? That's just par for the course. Oh yeah, I thought you already did that, Andy. Oh, you're gonna be East Coast though. Yeah, I can't wait. We're going to talk about that, Andy. I know the big trip you're doing. That's exciting. Meat potato pie. Delish. When the giant makes a shepherd pie, that's usually like our Christmas dinner or something, or even Easter, Thanksgiving. We've had it all the time. And I learned a lot, Andy, not only in Wales, but in Poland. And yes, I need to be serving up this fella Whole Foods all the time, right? Sure, it's a lot of potatoes and it's a lot of beige food, but things are made. And we're so quick to eat out here. They call it the fresh, California fresh. Like, I really didn't have many vegetables. Vacation constipation is very real. Let me just tell you, I missed my bucha. Oh, yeah, where is it? Damn it. Hey, can someone grab me my booch? It's right on the kitchen table. I'm still cleaning out. But I loved it all. I loved it. Yes, Gettysburg, the big trip with Nicole and everybody, right? And you got a panel coming up. Thanks, sweet cheeks. You want to say hi? No, not yet. Like our things, our regular routine we didn't have, but I didn't mind it one bit not having it. What an experience. And when we were in Poland, we didn't stay at his mom's house. We didn't stay at his original house. He has an uncle who kind of has property all over. He also lives in, has property in New York and in Pennsylvania, but he had an apartment kind of in his own hometown. So we actually had our own space, which was really nice. Just didn't have Wi-Fi. So we were dependent upon, he would bribe his sister with filling her smoker juice. And then we'd take the little Wi-Fi unit to our apartment once in a while. Yes, I'm excited for your panel. I put notify me, so I'm gonna check that out. And the Gettysburg bit, because we were talking about that when I was on your show. You were getting excited for that, and your buddy was on there. Cool. Yeah, I'm excited to catch up. What was fun is because of the time change, I would catch Browndorf in the morning a few times. So that's where I would give a couple updates. I also gave some fake news. Well, it was real news, but it's a year later. So at that airport in Czechia, there was an assassination attempt on Zelensky. And at that date, 1 year before it happened, however, the news broke that date, and it happened to be the day after we were there, or 2 days after we were there. And I was telling some of the crew that's asking about the international news, I'm like, well, it seems like this just happened. This is what the locals are talking about. And then come to find out, no, it was a year ago that time. That's how tight under wraps military is there, that nothing leaked. So it was interesting. Very interesting. And then I think I sent to some of you all when we were in Krakow, which was awesome. Where's my Smokey? There's my Smokey little dragon we got to talk about on one of our little shows there. The castle's there, and castle dude, I know I was so close. I'm not even gonna go there. Big Ford hasn't been on in a few days. Oh no. Well, last I saw him, it was a few days ago. It's like last Wednesday or Thursday. I'll have to check in on him. What's with the Smokey? Something about Smokey and Krakow. Oh, the only real activity where you're like, oh, there's something going on in the world, because we were just lost in their worlds, was outside our beautiful hotel windows. We only had hotels 2 nights, and one was in Krakow, like right in the heart by the square there. And there were protests with big Polish flags walking, and they were saying, this is not Poland, but they're walking around Polish flags. And we couldn't figure it out. And I tried my Google Translate and got Marcin out of the shower, and he's checking it out. He said they're saying it because they said we've let in enough Ukrainians. It was a Ukraine Polish thing. So that got a little heated for a minute, but immediately the police were around there keeping it under control. So that was really the big news as when we were out and about. So you haven't seen him in a minute. I'm going to check in with him. I'd like to go down and see him. I'm going to be in his area soon. So I'll maybe just do a YouTube live when I'm walking in the shop there and see him. But I'm going to be in that area probably the end of this week. My gal, one of her besties lives over there. And I'll go see him myself. So that was really my latest grace. I'm happy. It went really well. It would be nice to still be there, but we get it. Show must go on. Really grateful for all the positive vibes. I didn't post anything in real time because of the loosh bombs and just energy and just having had that experience before, but a lot of private messages, and I appreciate the support and the protection. If you could possibly throw some good juju to the giant, he needs work. He needs work. The only thing June, July, August that's in the books is like 3 days in July. And then that's not enough to sustain. And my teaching check has stopped. So I know I'm going to kick it up a notch myself, but and we trust and we're good manifestors. But while we were gone, we did have some industry pals say that Gruesome Newsome may very well be bringing back some of the tax incentives. So the industry might be coming back a little bit. Now, I know we all do have certain feelings and perspectives about the industry, but like you said, there's some good peeps and creator beings out there that do want to put the good content out there. So what a great place to do it. Everything's here. Maybe door. Yeah, he probably took off for the 4th. He could have. He probably went up to Northern California. Maybe he went up to his woods. That would be amazing. And I know that's sketchy Wi-Fi. I'm going to try to make a trek up there before we start school again. We don't start till after Labor Day, so you guys are going to get sick of me. Other than our Midwest trip, I intend to bump these algos. Yeah, that could be it, huh? I'll give him a little texty text too, and check in with him there. So I hope everybody's doing well. Oh my gosh, the other thing that when we came back is when the news started flooding with Texas. I hope none of you have anybody that's affected with that, but oh, that's awful. That's awful. I know I'm hearing it's North Carolina all over again, but it seems amplified because it seems like so much more. You can't compare any kind of thing like that, but that's awful. That just sucked. And then, again, with not having the Wi-Fi and seeing the scrolling, you really can kind of control your energy field a little bit better and keep it a little more vibrant. Even when you go into, I was fascinated with the old cemeteries in UK, but when we would get Wi-Fi and I'd scroll just a little bit, it affects you so quick. Just please be mindful how much you scroll, or doomsday scroll, I should say, not just scroll and check on your pals and things, but the doomsday scroll, just be careful. Make sure you recharge. I know with Gerald Jin, you have the farm, you have the animals there, you have each other. But I know some peeps are alone and they scroll a lot and it makes them snap, like they get a little darker. So just be mindful. It's okay to be aware of the information, but be mindful how much you're soaking in, especially concentrated TikTok information. Because anyway, that's where I got my news update. So I'm happy I saw it. But from going from one energy field to the next, you feel that transition. And I felt what it did to my body. And it's usually when I start getting feel a little weird. Remove the space. Okay. Thanks for Stream Boo. Who else can contest to that? North Carolina flooded too yesterday? M Love, what you talking about? Hi, M Love, by the way. Oh no. Well, I just left a message for my pal Tanya. I hope she's okay. She's Hendersonville. So it's the same areas? Is it the same areas, M Love? I missed that. Oh, Polly, I was just talking about you. Here's your huge hug. Nice to see you again. Hello. And I love your new group. Polly, how are you doing? How are you guys? Happy last end of the school to your son. And I hope you guys are safe and sound. I was sharing that I appreciate your boots on the ground information and that you being there and sharing being there. I appreciate that. Okay, Chapel Hill, my being Chapel Hill, but still, gosh dang. What is your thoughts there, peeps? I know we all have a lot of them. I know I'm hearing, the weather wars is on. the manipulation as well as it's happened before? So is this just what the planet's doing? What are your thoughts? Southern Pines area too. Oh no. I think my ex is in Southern Pines. Engineering. That's what I'm getting the most on there. Oh, Polly, we're on the same wavelength there, and I'm going to catch you all on that panel too. Good. Okay. Well, I'm glad you can feel us all with you. Aw. Ooh, yeah, I understand the engineer bit. Oh, here comes the giant. He's coming. Look what I'm doing. Go say hi. Your fans await. Much love to you, Polly. Oh, Scully Pop, you're still there. I like how it spells it out. Person blue holding a pencil. So yes, I have not dived deep. I'm noticing right away, there's a few go-tos for news sources. But again, right, it's all about discernment. It's all about your perspective. It's all about what you soak in and how you use the information you've collected through your lifetime to process and connect. So there's a lot going around right now with what has happened in Texas. Now, I have friends that are there. Thankfully, all their families are intact. Some were just a couple miles from the river there. They have children of that age. So they are going through some PTSD themselves, and they're doing everything they can to help and be of service with recovery, but tragedy, absolutely tragic. Ooh, how do you come back from that one? Nice, some booch. Well, I know all the other million things that I've wanted to share. I'll share at some point. But for now, kicking up these algorithms, brushing it off. I had to reconnect almost everything. I'm on StreamYard still, and I had to do the reconnections because so much time had passed. But I'm happy. I'm happy to do this. So just a little quick mini advert if you're just tuning in, and hello again to the replay crew if you made it this far. Dustin didn't give me the date. I will be helping Dustin co-host again on Flying Chariots The Rise. I think we have 2 dates this July. And then Single Dad Project, my buddy Henry. That's one of his names he's going with. He's all over socials, but I helped launch his project, the Single Dad Project. He's got an awesome show that's going off. It's doing really well with TikTok, but he's on YouTube and he's on all the socials. But he is sharing his single dad perspective. Now, the month of May for Mother's Day, he had mothers on sharing when they had single mom stories to share. I had a few to share. And he dives deep into the single dad stuff. And his journey with it and his purpose with it is he is doing it in a very conscious way of solution based, like moving through it in a solution based way, not in war. Yeah, you can look at what has happened or maybe mistakes you've made, but community. He's building community with single dads, and I think it's pretty awesome. And he's a super high vibe dude, and I've had him on twice. He was one of my like 50 something high vibe human experience hangout episodes. He was like my first one. And so and then we did another one when he was in the middle of it. It was the episode I think I titled Jedi, like, because he had to do a lot of Jedi mind tricks to get through the schedule he had. He had these night jobs. And then he'd stay up during the day just so he could take his daughter, like pick her up from school and take her to activities, because that was his only time he could see her. So his lifestyle was like no sleep, pay the bills, living in Chicago, and be a part of his daughter's life no matter what it took. So that was like a heavy one. It was a heavy episode, but I was just proud of him for every morning choosing to pull up his bootstraps and putting parenting first. He put his daughter first. She's officially graduated. He's officially kind of got back his health and, his routines back, and he's starting this project. So would love to support my pal and do that for him and share him with you guys again. And after this trip, boom, shakalaka, I gotta go back to this big guy because I got stories to share, new ones. I know I didn't run into him again, could sure feel them, but I miss these conversations, sky activity, all the fun stuff, the fae, the fairies, all the fun stories you can think about. And now on an international level. So I'm going to save that for next time. I love it, Scully Pillow, turquoise hot chocolate. Am I your storyteller? Go, Dad. You saying my dad? What are you saying, Em Love? Oh my gosh. Well, that moved me because this is my dad, my 1111. This was my airline takeoff landing thing. Like I said, we were recovering from this crazy 2021 trip we did. The kids did great. By the end, I think they're back to regular flying, right? What is it? Yes, please. That's fine. But I had my little thing I do, kind of like how I clear the classroom and prep the classroom with a verse. And I did that with the flights. They held on to here. Oh, okay, I'm love. Thank you. Oh, yes. Oh my gosh. Look how, wow. I'm love. I couldn't put those thoughts together that quickly. That's crazy. That's how fast I'm bouncing around. I haven't done that in so long. Thanks, Em Love. Yes, my friend, the Single Dad Project. Dad. Hi, Professor Bauer. How the heck are you? Thank you, sir. It's good to be back. It's good to be back and having some energy. We came back and we still had a full house because I had my house sitters. My family was here. And my mom's birthday and 4th of July. And we had to I unpacked, but I didn't quite finish. Giant knows that. He hates that. But it's good to be back. So I'm bumping some algorithms all week. This week, next week, and a little bit of the following. And then we take off again for a little bit and then we'll be back. Back to work, Scully Pop. Cheers. We'll see you soon. We'll see you very, very soon. Cool. I can't wait to see you guys, Polly, because that's about noon my time. So I will be there in the chat, blowing it up. Oh, panels rock. I like that you're doing that, Andy. That's awesome. I was so tired. Drove off without waiting. I haven't done that before. That's a good one. Drove to eat something the other day. Was so tired. Drove off without waiting. That's awesome. That's great. Oh, I forgot it's showing up again. Yeah, that was a new feature. I logged in and it's showing me StreamYard has a bunch of new features. So I'm going to have to explore some things. I'm still on here. I still like it. I'm a creature of habit. So I'll have to check out some of these new things it has. In the meantime, we're at 42. I'm going to probably hit it at 50. How's that? Give it a little 8-minute countdown. And then gear up some more of these stories. Get back to some storytelling of all the things. You got it the next day. I'm glad they remembered you. Got all receipts. There was some big one. Dragon. Yeah, there's too many things. I'm gonna have to make little notes and be like, okay, this point. And when I do my little interviews, I know Garrett, we were gonna talk with Dennis about some stuff. It's gonna help me retell and recall. It's there. I just want to formulate it all. This is really more of the get to know me again. Care share. Oh, hit that like button. Absolutely. So we did well. I said something about my little family of 4. We travel well. We love being together. And are you right there? I don't think I don't even know if he's right over there, but like I said, this wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for him. He did absolutely everything and in the middle of not having much work. So send that good juju for the work coming in. But are you right there? Or are you just not saying anything? From Poland and Wales, the difference of energy, even just with him, you got the blood family that is so honored and grateful to meet everybody. And then you got the family who's not blood, but they really are part of his family unit. They are the friends with their families that all brought him in. They were so lovely to meet and to see how the giant navigated his energies in both places it was fascinating. It was cool. It's a whole, you never thought you're like, oh, I know him. I lived with him, married 6 years now, la, 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 la. No, you got an even more bigger perspective on him. And that's what I'm forever grateful for this trip. That's my biggest takeaway is go Giant. And we could move to Wales. So Andy, I was looking at real estate. I just don't know. Here's where my bit is, and I worry for him too. We were there and the weather was great. Like we had massive, gorgeous clouds coming in. We had some rain, but there was a lot of sun breakthrough. And even our hosts were like, this is great. Because even last summer, we barely got any sun. I don't do well in that. I did Pacific Northwest when I was a child. I didn't quite notice because I was all into my fairies and Bigfoots. But the rain was so bad, my dad got so depressed, we had to leave. So I have to be mindful of how much of that gloom I am around. However, I have a feeling because it's Wales and the energy that comes through those sacred lands, I would be okay. So I kind of threw it out to my little kiddo and I'm like, Poland, Wales, like where could you see yourself? And Wales, plus means English speaking. Guy was a little easier to hang out. But Poland is as well enchanting. And so I don't know. If I do stuff like this online, I can do that anywhere, right? So I never thought in 25 years I'd be sane, but I actually had moments of like, is it time to leave LA? We shall see. My whole bit with the giant of even moving back to Midwest, because my sister's been always sends the giant listings and trying to get us back even to the Wisconsin area. My whole thing was, well, Charlie has to finish. Charlie has to finish. My daughter, she has to finish this 8th grade because she's on this journey with this one educator. Well, it's over. That journey's over. The little man's thriving. Remember, he has the Viking as the teacher. Same teacher. They loop. Same place where I teach. And then, I have to get to that next. He's thriving. But I'm also like, I know he could thrive wherever he goes. And then there's the kids in my class. So, we're here because of the education journey. And having paved the way, not just myself, the tons of other moms and parents and families that I know and don't know, but I know we're out there here in LA paving the way for a new education system. It's like, okay, well, now I've done that. So what's next? Yes, and love. It's all about going the gut, hence the booch. Your grandparents were in Poland. Polly, what part of Poland were they? Something else we did there, by the way. We did not do the mountains. When we were in Krakow, we could have spent the day in the mountains and explored, which was like this. But movie birds out there. And so the giant, he does the movie cranes. The cameras on the end of the crane, they're freaking huge. That's where they literally build them from scratch. And I was like, you gotta schmooze. Let's go talk. Let's go share. Make that connection. You know them online, but you got to meet them in person. So that was a really big out of the way trip, but I'm glad we got to do it. We also had a really 2.5 hour each way ride in the countryside. So I love the look of Poland. It also reminds me a little bit of Wisconsin. So yeah, I was just curious, Polly, what you said. So stirring that up, never thought I would say that. But like I said, with that feeling of, and it wasn't just, some vacations you can't wait to get home. And I couldn't wait to poop. So some you're like, get back to my routine. I was like, yeah, I can't wait to share and connect with peeps. But I'm also like flying into LA going, the frequency. I liked what was going on, what we were doing, even his vibe, the kids' vibes, the friends that we were meeting, the in-person stuff. Yeah. Anyway, but let's note that 48 minutes on July, what day is it? 7th. That's what I said. And I said it out loud and I said it live. So thank you for joining this live stream. I'm going to try to do this again a little bit this week. And then when I lock in those dates with Mr. Andy D Codes and Dennis Carroll and Rick Ramirez, and I'm going to hit up a couple of their U's, Miss Polly, and some other peeps. Okay, we were in Warsaw. That's where we first flew into Warsaw. My grandpa in Warsaw, my grandma in a place difficult to pronounce, of course. They survived World War II and got to Columbia where I was born. Oh, amazing. Well, kudos. I'm so grateful for their strength because I'm happy you're here. And that's beautiful. Our first flight, our big international flight did Warsaw. And then we did a little hopper that took us to Cheshire. And he says I say that wrong. Starts with an R. Everything there, just like Wales, it does not sound anything like it looks. And then we drove to his small town. I will relax and let it go. Stanley, both ends, I will. Absolutely. Yes, I think now, like, I jumped on literally after I just got back from the airport, dropping my mom, dropping my brother. Giant went to fix something on my car as soon as I got back. And so this is our first, like, okay, we're home. Because before I left, I couldn't even do this or connect much because we had graduation, family came in town, event. So this is like, I have 3 weeks of this summer lull, and I really enjoyed when I did it last year. That's kind of when I really met a lot of you. And I look forward to continuing to do that. So yeah, with that being said, thank you for listening to my care share today. I will share more in-depth little care shares and stories. You were right there. Are you? Oh. It is fun going places and getting new experiences. And it's also fun going home. Yeah, the dog, our little dog Bobo, he missed us. He missed us a lot. He hung with my mom. He did great. But we missed him too. And now we're figuring that out for our next little adventure. We have a house pet sitter. And I'm like, it's not like grandma. It's not like me. It's not like my brother. It's not family. So we got to figure that one out. Anyway, yes, very fun, much fun going places. So much more to share. I'm going to connect with some of you offline and figure out the next few scheduling of shows because I do miss interviewing and talking to people. I actually met a couple of people on our journey that might very well want to do this as well. So without further ado, thanks for playing. Thanks, Jane. Thank you very much. I missed you too. Thank you for being in touch with me, both you guys. It was fun sharing about you wherever I went. And wearing your swag. I wish more people took pictures of me, but whatever. I guess I'm the photog of the fam. I'll share more of those too. So we'll smell you later. I'll catch you tomorrow, and I'll catch you in some chats on some other shows because I'm officially on Pacific Coast time. So you have a beautiful, blessed one, and we'll smell you later. Cheers. Mwah. Oops. Hello.